those tiny pieces of bread that falls on the ground whenever you're eating bread is called what?
Small bread.
Man know thyself. You don't know yourself.
Now, can you see what's in my hand?
Daily. What's
This
this?
in my hand. What's it
Daily
called?
meal.
No, not the bread. What is it called? The
Bread,
content.
bread.
It's called the bread.
Bread.
Now, those tiny pieces of bread that falls on the ground whenever you're eating bread is called what?
Eruru.
Jesus.
Eruru.
No, in English.
Voila.
You think it's a joke?
Mama, eruru in
Everyone
English.
has been waiting for you. See,
Small bread.
and you just carry your destiny. Give it to him. Say, bros.
Small bread.
Jesus. He said what?
Do your thing. Also,
Now your final answer.
Eruru, small bread. Same
Small
thing.
bread.
Yes.
Actually, you guys are wrong. It's called breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs. Okay.
Breadcrumbs. So, bros, what is this ready for my hand? You know the name?
Na daily was it?
No, maybe the name. Like, what is the content? How do they call the content?
Na bread with this now.
Okay, now, bros. Now, when you chop bread, all those small pieces of bread they fall for ground. How do they call them? For ground.
Pieces of bread.
Piece of bread.
Yeah.
That's your final answer.
Yes, sir.
God have mercy upon us.
Actually, you don't see how it is called breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs.
You don't learn something
I
like
don't.
that. What is, like, do you know what is in my hand?
Bread.
The bread. Now, when you are eating bread, now, those tiny pieces of bread that falls on the ground, how do they call it?
Crumbs.
Crumbs of bread. Sabi book. What is it called?
Bread.
Okay, now, if I now decide to chop this bread into tiny chunks, what will it be called? What's the name now? What is the name of those small tiny pieces of bread called?
It's chunks.
Only God can say me.
Use it in a sentence.
So it's chunks. Or what do you call
Chunks
it
of
again?
what?
Chunks of bread.
Chunks of bread.
Yeah.
That's Limpopo.
Actually, wrong. It's called breadcrumbs.
Bread crumbs. Can you spell the crumbs?
CRUMPS.
CRUMPS. Crumbs. Bread crumbs.
No.
360. Wow. Okay, now, do you know what can you see my hand? What's this called? What's this called?
Daily bread.
No, not the name. Like, what's the contents called?
Bread.
Bread. So now, those tiny pieces of bread that falls on the ground whenever you're eating bread, what is it called?
Crumbs.
Crumbs. Now, those small pieces of bread where they fall for ground when they chop bread, how do they call them?
Pieces of bread as now.
Like when they chop bread, know how some pieces no go fall for ground, you understand? So those small when they fall for ground, how do they call them?
Piece of bread like trash. It's already wasted already.
Jesus is Lord.
Those small pieces of bread where they fall for ground when they chop bread, how do they call them?
Okay, now English you want?
How do they call them for English?
Chai. Oh my God, though. Crumbles.
I don't go.
Oh.
I don't go.
That's your final answer.
Crumbles.
Crumbles.
Yeah.
Say it loud.
Crumbles.
will you keep quiet?
Crumbles. Yeah. Don't young my guy. This thing in my hand now, what is it called?
Bread.
It's called bread. So now those tiny pieces of bread that falls on the ground whenever you're eating bread, how is it called?
Chunks of bread.
Chunks of bread. That's your final answer.
I don't have final answer. Thank you.
You be mumu. You call on
Chop
that.
knuckle now.
They never show you.
Actually called chunks of bread. It's
bread.
called
Pieces of bread.
Had you been here a year, I know you now. I give you a dirty slap. What do you want? Why are you saying like?
say it loud.
Pieces of bread.
Make you don't know nothing, man.